Hi, my name is Kristján Freyr, coming from Meniga, and I'll be talking to you guys about how we were able to scale a fintech startup from Iceland. Now, when I first heard about Meniga was when I met these two guys in 2009, that's 6 years ago. At the time, I was working for a company called Innovate and Entrepreneurship Center in Iceland. There was a business idea competition that they participated in. Two of the three founders on the photo right here. And at the time, they were pitching an idea which was about being an online personal budgeting tool for Europe, where we would be helping people to understand where their money is going. Now, there was a lot of judges, there was a lot of the interesting people, investors that were listening to this idea and meeting the team. And at the time, they really liked the team behind the idea. The idea was okay, but especially the team. It was a team with 3 founders that was in the team. A director that had been working as a director of marketing at one of the banks in Iceland, Viggo. Ásgeir, who was the technical co-founder, had 10 years of experience as a senior developer. And then Georg, the CEO, who was a Harvard MBA, had a Harvard MBA degree. He'd built companies in the past. So 3 guys, all with experience working for banks, knowing how to solve banks' problems and building a product that they wanted to sell for financial institutions all over the world, especially banks, was something that caught people's attention. Now, they hired their first employee soon after, Tinna, and they built the first version of Meniga, which was launched in Iceland in 2009. Already from the start, they built this thing in cooperation with one of the banks in Iceland called Íslands, and they launched this product to all of their users, both at their home bank, but also as a specific site that people could access in Iceland. Now, what this did for people was that in seconds, they could connect to the software and immediately see where all their expenses were going. So somebody could sign up for the service and he would know how much he'd been spending on groceries, on fast food, on a variety of different things, with 2 years of history back in time in a few seconds. Now, this was something that could be replicated all over the world with new features added on and a lot of opportunities. And that got the attention of people and investors in Iceland, like Eggert, who I think is in here somewhere, from Fintech, and Kolbrún from Kjölfesta, and they decided to invest in the company. Originally, Fintech put something like a little bit more than $1 million in the company in 2010, and then in 2013 there was an extra $6.5 million investment, if I recall correctly, added on. So today, this is somewhere what the roadmap of the company looks like. In 2009, started out with Íslands in Iceland. In 2010, Arion Bank, Abanki, and Landsbankinn were added on, meaning that about 95% of the population in Iceland can connect to Meniga with their bank accounts, all of their transactions, and get a complete overview of all of their finances. This helped the company, having 3 top-tier banks in Iceland, to open up for the sales opportunities in Scandinavia. We were able to sell the solution to Skandiabanken and Sastobanki, and having 5 banks within Scandinavia really opened up the doors for the company to be able to take on Europe. And currently today, we have more than 20 financial institutions all over the world buying these services. And there's more than 25 million users from all those financial institutions that have access to them today. The company has grown from a small team into more than 100 employees. We have offices in Stockholm in Sweden, in London where we have and operate our sales units, and then here in Iceland where we have about 70 to 80 of our employees, mostly software developers, building fintech solutions for financial institutions all over the world. Our revenue numbers started out small in 2009 and 2010, but then 2012 was really the big jump for the company, where we reached more than 2.5 million euros in revenues, and last year we had about 6.5 million euros in revenues, and the company is still growing. So, just to show you a few examples, Meniga looks different in different banks. This is PS Bank from Russia. Momentum has a different look, a different feel, and we work with the banks in making solutions that really work in accordance with their goals and what they want to achieve. But we have a really powerful back-end engine that can work in all of those banks. And just in mBank, for example, here in Poland, 4 million users. Every day when they log into their bank, this is the view that they see, powered by the Meniga engine at the bank. There's multiple features that have, solving a variety of different problems for the users. Just one example is this Google-like tree that people can search within their finances. And the engine will figure out what it is that they're trying to look for and help them out managing the finances better. But during these years of growing the company, we have learned a lot of interesting things. And one of those is that the secret sauce in helping people becoming smarter consumers is context. So we really looked into this and how we could actually take this company and go in further and scale it more. And we've been working on a product for some time now, which we launched in Iceland November, and we're taking it in further. And I'm going to show you some of that, some of those things, and talk to you about them in context. This is the Meniga app. And what it does is that when you open up the app, it brings the user into a Facebook-like financial feed, giving the user the most interesting things that are happening with his own financial life at every time whenever he logs into the app. Gives him ideas of whenever he got his salary, he gets a notification. If somebody was swiping his card in China and he wasn't in China, then maybe he should look into that. So it gives him notification and just giving him more comfortability with his overall finances in shorter time than before. Now, a user, to understand what's happening here, let's just say this is from our real product in Iceland, so it's Icelandic, but let's say a user is looking at this product on Monday, October 20th. He just clicks on the date, and immediately all of his transactions from that date will expand. Now, what's interesting about this is that it's just like a typical bank. You see all the transactions there, the merchant and how it's categorized. But what's interesting with Meniga is that you could just press a single transaction, and the second you do that, you know exactly how much you've been spending on groceries, for example, for the past few months. If you've put up a plan, you can see if you're under or below that plan. You can also see how much you spent at that specific merchant, if you like, and compare that to your entire grocery spend. And the system does all of this automatically for the user. Now, there's a lot of opportunities with having financial data in one place and enriching it and making and creating more value for users. Notifications, for example, and getting the right types of notifications at the right time can be very valuable. Already, we've tested a few of these here in Iceland, and we're already pushing a lot more out in every week, which in our development teams. But just ideas of getting to know interesting things, such as, oh, this was your 20th time at this bar, or this was your 5th time at Kaffibarinn in your history, or John, you've spent much more in Kaffibarinn than you usually do at bars. Something like that. That's interesting. I wasn't with John yesterday, so I don't know about that. But out of all this, we've actually started to think about, how can we develop this into a more growing ecosystem? And that's the Meniga ecosystem I wanted to talk to you about today. We're working now in building a bridge between banks, consumers, and merchants, and all of their and benefits for all of them. And just to show you a few examples, within Meniga in Iceland, just like everywhere else, there's different groups of people with different transaction histories. Some of them are spending a lot on fast food. Some of them love golf and are always golfing. Now, what we do is that we connect these different groups of people with different types of merchants. And we invite these merchants to give them in-context targeted offers based on their spending profiles. So a user that's spending a lot on golf would only get offers based on golf and things that he's always spending money on, but users that are not would not get those same offers but others. And I want to take a simple example of how this works and explain it a little bit further. A typical family in Iceland, for example, is spending about $900 on groceries per month. Now, this family mainly does its shopping in inexpensive supermarkets, but occasionally shops in stores with longer opening hours and more high-end variety of products. Now, this family gets an offer. Now, how that works is that the offer would just appear on a mobile device for that user. And what's different about the system than most other offering systems that you'll see is that you're used to seeing a specific percentage of the discount that this family would get if they shop at that store. Now, of course, the family gets the discount. They know that get a 10% discount at that grocery store. But what the system tells them is that if they would move all of their transactions in grocery towards that merchant, they would know how much they would save. So the number I would get on my screen is different from the number that Bala would get on his because we have a different spending profile. There can be other constraints, and there can be contracts made with the merchants saying something like, I'm only willing to give this user a discount if he shops for more than $200 at the store. So the user can't just go and shop one item. He actually needs to move his business over to that merchant in order to get the discount. So there's a lot of opportunities with that. The user then goes and shops, and when he shops, he'll see, he doesn't have to show anybody that he has a discount, doesn't need to print anything out, no coupons of any kind. He just goes to the shop, pays full price, and immediately when that transaction comes into his bank, he'll know exactly how much he saved, and once per month, he'll get a repayment paid back into his bank account. In this case, about $50. So why is this interesting? Well, for the businesses, it's interesting because of the targeting mechanism and because of the context. The businesses can justify to give better discounts than before. They only pay a fee if the converted customer actually pays. Somebody that gets the offer actually goes into the store and swipes his card is the only time when the merchant pays anything. And the third reason, that he's only targeting users with a purchase history and therefore saves marketing costs and is less of a spam. For the users, they get better prices, and they do. It's always certified security, and their personal information is never shared with any types of third parties. And the bank, it's an opportunity for a new revenue stream for them. It increases their loyalty with their customers, and it also attract new ones. Now, again, bringing to the point of why this is the secret sauce in helping people becoming smarter consumers, and how context is that thing, I just wanted to show you a small map here. Now, typically, if you look at a typical person and the place where this individual lives and where he works, typically, this individual would have about 90% of all of his transactions happening in the commute between those two distances. And this is just showing you a heat map of what's happening there. Now imagine being that individual, and you would maybe once per week get 4 offers, something like that, at a simple push notification, the right time. And the offers that you get, they're always in context with your spending. They're always at companies that you're always shopping at, or they're at companies that are offering products that are very similar to the shops that you're already shopping at. And these offers, they're not 50 miles away in a different distance that you need to commute to. They're always in the area of which you're used to shopping in. This is just to show you some of the things that we've been working on Meniga and how we've been thinking about the future and what we're offering to our customers right now. To end this thing and this talk, I wanted to show you 2 fun pictures that we had at one of the hackathons at work. So one of the employees had an idea to look at a tension map between different transactions in Iceland. So this is actually real data that one of the employees brought up. And what it shows you is that, for example, if you go to a bar like Kaffibarinn, you would be very likely to meet that same individual that you met there at Vesturbæjarlaug. Another interesting thing to show is that if you go for another bar like Östur, you'd be more likely to meet those same individuals at World Class or a tanning booth. So, anyways, there's a lot of fun things that you can build with data. There's a lot of interesting products that you can build that people love. We're working on those and we'll continue to do so. We would never have been able to build this startup without the help of the banks here in Iceland and the 50,000 users that have signed up for the services and helped us develop it further. So I just wanted to use this opportunity to thank you for that. I'm looking forward to talk with all of you later on today and with the rest of the employees in the room from Meniga. Thank you.